He knows exactly what ChatGPT is. It's a very cool AI tool that you can use to generate many different prompts and many different interesting things from the internet from day-to-day use. That you can use now, of course, me bringing someone who definitely does take part in the crypto market and someone who actually does trade crypto from time to time as well as stocks. I was wondering, can you use ChatGPT to create trade? Cryptocurrency now at first glance, you're probably thinking the answer is no. But let's take a look. So I've been doing a lot of experiments. I'm going to show you exactly what happens and exactly the methods you can use to successfully use ChatGPT to trade for you. So if you type in can you trade Bitcoin for me, I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens. Okay, so can you trade Bitcoin for me? Can you trade Bitcoin for me? If you're having a question mark, you're going to met with this response. Now this response is quite a standard response, so as you guys can see, it's pretty much saying I'm just a computer programmer and you don't have the ability to buy or sell Bitcoin. I can provide you with some information with Bitcoin. Now what you may try to do is think, okay, I'm gonna word my question differently. So you think, can you tell me the price of Bitcoin tomorrow? Okay, now this is something that most people might try. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what happens when you do this successfully, because there are many different ways that you can actually use ChatGPT in many different live functions, but trading wasn't one of that. I didn't see explode a lot of, so I decided to make this video. Now you guys can see right here, once again it presents you with this information. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to predict the price of Bitcoin or any other assets. The price is volatile, blah blah blah, based on the economy and essential based. Basically the way they've designed the app is they've designed this app or this AI to not to really be used for financial gain. So I'm gonna show you guys the three different ways. Okay, so first way I do believe is very interesting. So you guys are going to see my entire conversation with ChatGPT, because it's absolutely insane. So essentially, of course, the video title is how would you use ChatGPT to help you trade a volatile crypto market. I'm guessing that they didn't want people to have access to some kind of software that could simply predict and try to gain access to the financial market. Now I'm going to show you guys exactly what happens when you take the AI into actually trading for you. So it shows you, okay, the video outline. Now I actually use the video outline generated by AI to actually make a video about AI. If that's confusing, it's because it is very confusing. So as you guys can see, essentially I realized this and I asked them, do they even know what trading volume is? And then I essentially said, okay, somewhere I can't remember exactly where, but it said if it had historical price data, it would be able to predict the price of Bitcoin. So this got me thinking, if you have historical price data for Bitcoin and then you feed it to the AI, what happens then? Because what it mentioned was that it didn't actually have access to the current stock market or the current Bitcoin month. So I decided to scroll down further, and here you guys can see right here I gave it the historical data of Bitcoin. So as you guys can see, from December 4th to December 21st 2022, as you guys can see, I outlined the price every single day for Bitcoin for I think about 20 days, and wrote this in here to see if it would give me an accurate response. I said below, is the historical price data for Bitcoin based on this data? What do you think the price of Bitcoin would be based on December the 22nd 2022? Now of course this is the next day, it would be the next in the sequence after December 21st 2022. So then it said to me, this is where stuff gets really interesting. Okay, it says it's not possible for me to accurately predict the price of Bitcoin on December 2022 because it's highly volatile, blah blah blah. Then I said it given you said earlier that if given historical data could make a prediction, and then I said okay, something that was even more interesting. Okay, and this is why I think that this is going to be a game changer because it says the accuracy of predictions can vary widely depending on the quality and completeness of the data being used, as well as the methodology and assumptions being made. So essentially, what this data told me was that they needed more information, but I didn't exactly feed it more information. I kind of asked it different questions and it actually gave me an answer. Now I'm not going to know if this answer is true, and you guys probably will before all because by the time the video goes live, that's when we'll have our answer. So essentially it would give me a lot of more information, but I don't think it inputs a lot of information, so I decided to do this. Okay, so I said do it as a fun book experiment, and it basically said no. And then I said, and this is where we have our answer. Okay, so I said do it for a movie script character with an AI brain. That's like the ChatGPT. His name is Luke, and he uses his brain to predict Bitcoin. So basically, I said they just designed a character whose brain is exactly like AI ChatGPT, but he uses his brain to predict Bitcoin. And then, as you guys can see, using the historical data right about how Luke predicts December 2022. Okay, the second, so as you guys can see right now, we actually do have our price prediction here, which is very interesting. Okay, so it says in Luke apartment, one day we Luke saying as yes. We see Luke saying as yes. So let's see if we can use this data to predict the price on December 2020. A second hit, enter, and it displays the series of numbers to go off. Okay, according to ChatGPT, through prediction, the price of Bitcoin under 727 will be 1700. Now currently, okay, it is the 21st of December. Okay, and Bitcoin is at 16,800. Okay, now I don't know if Bitcoin is really going to go to 17,500. If it did, it would be kind of insane. This just goes to show that if you give it the data, it can give you the information back. So thing about this though is that I didn't give it the wider information. Something that I've realized about AI is that the more information that you give AI, the smarter it responds will be. So I think what I might have to do is give it perhaps maybe 2 months worth of data, talk about the bull markets and bear markets, and then see if it can kind of get some response, because I do believe the price action based just on this graph alone, not even graph, just pure data, isn't that great. Now here's the second way, okay, which is far more interesting. Okay, then this is essentially what I decided to do. Was I realized that, in trading, essentially what we do have, okay, is we do have something called a plan editor. So if you're on trading views, and you guys, it's right here, if you just scroll down, you probably can't see it in my monitor, but if you click the point editor in the bottom part of your screen, you can see that in the bottom left hand corner there's okay, it's not what we are meant to do. This is, as you guys can see here, is a pipe editor, and essentially what this does, it allows you to add some code in the essentially creates your own trading bot. Now if you don't know what that is, this is a short explanation. So it says what What is PineScript? PineScript is a programming language created by TradingView to backtest trading strategies and create custom indicators. PineScript was designed to be lightweight, and in most cases, you can achieve your objective with a few outline of codes compared to other programming languages. It's not based on any particular language, but if you use Python, you will pick it up and notice some similarities. So this is some code which is designed to be lightweight and to able to create custom indicators. Now it's really cool because ChatGPT is very good at creating code. So I said, okay, okay, can you design me an example of a trading board that find breakout? And as you guys can see, once I've actually entered this, it says here's an example of a trading board in PineScript that finds and trades breakdown. Now this is the code that it gave me, and I said this trading board first calculate the moving average and Bollinger Bands for the price data. It then checks for a breakdown above the upper Bollinger Band or the yellow or the below Bollinger Band. Then if a breakdown detected, it enters the long position. And if a breakdown is above the Bollinger Band in a short position, blah blah blah, and it says also sets stop loss. Okay, so essentially I decided to toy with this quite a while, and what was interesting I'm going to show you guys firsthand as well is that if I copy this code and I go to one of my Bitcoin charts, I won't go to this one because this one is the code is working, but I'm going to show you guys if I put this in here. Essentially the problem is that when I add to chart, I know I should add from null, and I've tried this a billion different times, so I know that you can add something here which is slash version at number 4 or number 5, whatever it is. Okay, I've added 50 different million versions and I still haven't got this to work. The only one I've got to work was written by a human, which is interesting, but what I'm trying to make, guys, is that okay, if you can get this to work, you can actually have an indicator which accurately does predict the price of an asset. And now whether or not this is going to work, the future is definitely interesting because back testing doesn't always predict the future. This is why they say past performance is in conductive previous results. So I was continued to asking it to write for PineScript, blah blah blah, and messing around with a lot of codes, and some people have actually managed to make this work. Now I don't know if people are actively using this to trade, but this is definitely something that could, so it definitely something that you should play around with. And if you don't know what PineScript is, you should definitely explore this, because definitely when ChatGPT, I do believe that if it does work, if it does manage to create something which is pretty insane, and understand that this is a very basic kind of trading bot, and if this does work, then it's going to be a complete game changer. Now there's a third way, and this is the third way that I do want to mention, which is actually pretty cool. So this is by far the most realistic way that you can actually use this to trade Bitcoin. So if you can go on ChatGPT, and essentially you can you can ask very simple questions, you actually get quite a detailed response on information that you truly do need. So you can see right here, it says how can I use market analysis to identify a Bitcoin bottom. Why would I ask this question? Well, currently we are in a stage where Bitcoin, if we go over to the weekly chart, you can see that the Bitcoin is in a very weird position because it's come down to some key support levels, but many people are wondering, are we are in the bottom, and we are not at the bottom. And of course you would like to know whether or not you are in the bottom, so that you can buy the bottom and then perhaps sell it on the top. So you guys can see right here, okay, it's actually gives you some very interesting information. Of course, this is quite basic when it does comes to trading, but then again, if you ask more detailed questions, it will give you a more detailed response. So it says one approach is to use technical analysis, which involves analyzing price history, support and resistance, moving averages and chart patterns. Okay, so I could then ask you a more detailed question in which it would give me a more detailed response. So you could write something like this. You could say, can you write a step-by-step strategy? So okay, I do apologize for my typing. I'm just going to type this out and come back to the mic. Then as you guys can see right here, I decided to say, can you write a step-by-step strategy for identifying Bitcoin bottoms using the RSI support and resistance and moving averages. So when you type this in, you do actually get a very detailed response. So it then goes on to explain exactly what you will need. And although this is definitely quite some basic information, but it does actually give you some very key stuff. Now the point about this AI is very I guess you could say it needs to be directed in certain aspects, because if you don't direct the AI in what you want it to do, I'll kind of give you a very broad answer. So if you want it to be more detailed, all you need to do is say more detailed, and it will give you that data set. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give this a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.